Hey guys, my name is Jephte. My presentation today is about Robert. What make a good life. The introduction, I think, about a good life is about when a relationship is when two people are married and they both are living a good life together, even when things are like tough and things are hard, but they still remain the same person. And what keeps us healthy and happy as we go through life. Robert said, if we were going to invest now in your future best self, where would you put your time and your energy? There was a recent survey for young adults by to asking them like about their important goals life. 80% of them say that they want to be rich when they grow older, and then 50% say they want to become famous. And we are constantly told to learn and to work to push harder and achieve more. We're given the impression that these are the things that we need to go after in order to have a good life. Picture the entire life of the choice that people make and how those choices work out for them. Those pictures are almost impossible to get. Most of what we know about human life, we know from asking people to remember the past, how the past like has been, and then to remember like what happened to the life as they go through life. And we forgot the most amount of what people, what happened to us in life, and sometimes memory is then made our creative. Waber said, what if we could watch the entire life of people as they grow older, and then how the life has developed through time? What if we could study the people from the time that they were teenager and then all the way into old age to see what keep people happy and what they. And he said and he said we did that. The Howard University of Adult Development may be the longest study of adult life that ever been done. For 75 years, they've been tracking life of 724 men years after year by asking them about their work, their life, and their family, stuff like that, their health, and of course asking all the way without knowing how their life story were going to turn out. Studies like this are very isolated, and almost all the projects were fall apart within a decade because too many people dropped out of that study, or funding for the research dries up, or the researcher get distracted, or they die. But through the combination of luck and the persistence of several generations of researchers, this study has survived. About 60 of our 724 men are still alive, and they're still participating in that program. Most of them are in the 90s, and then they are now beginning to study, and more number of children. And I'm the fourth, and he is the fourth director in that study. Since 1938, they've been tracking the life of two groups kind of men, and then the first group started the study when they were sophomore at College University. Or they all finished during the World War II, and then some of them who graduated during the World War II, they participated to the war. And then the second group were followed with was a group of boys from Boston, Poets neighborhood, and then boys they were chosen for the study specifically because they were from some of one of trouble and disadvantaged family in the Boston of the 1930s. Most live in the tenement, many without hot and cold running water. When they entered the study, all these teenagers were interviewed. They were given medical exam, and they went to their house and asked them questions about their family, and then interviewed their parents. And these teenagers will go into adult who enter all work of life. They became factory doctors, engineer, like, and then one of them has become president of the United States. And some of them develop alcoholism, develop schizo,
Schizophrenia?
yeah, and some claim the social ladder from the bottom all the way up, and some made the journey in the opposite direction. The founder of this study will never in their wildest dream have imagined that I would be standing here today, for 75 years later, telling you that the study still continue. Every 2 years, our patient and dedicated research staff call up our men and ask them if we can send them yet one more set of questions about their life. Many of the inner city Boston men ask us, why do you keep wanting to know about me? My life is just, their life is not that perfect. Why they trying to know a lot about their life? But they haven't, men never asked them about that question. To get the clearest picture of this life, they don't just send them like questionnaire. They just interview them in the living room. They get to know them, the medical record, the doctor, and then they draw their blood, they scan their brain, and they also talk to their children. They videotape them talking to their wife about the deepest concern, like deepest conversation, two of them, and about a decade ago, they finally asked the wife if they could join them as a member of that study, and many of the wives say yes, it's about the time. And so what we've learned, what are the lessons that come from the 10,000 of page information that we generate on this life? Well, the lessons aren't about wealth or fame or working hard or harder and harder. The clearest message that we get from the 75 year of study is not about other stuff or working hard or other things. It's about the good relationship that keep them happy and wealthy. We've learned 3 big lessons about the relationship. The first one is that social connection are really good for us, and that lonely skills. It turned out that people who are more socially connected to family, to friends, and the community, they are more healthy and happy. They are physically healthy, and they live longer than people who are less connected to the community or the family. And the experience of loneliness turned out to be toxic. People who are more isolated than they want to be from others find that they are less happy. Their health declines early in midlife. Their brain functioning declines sooner, and they live shorter life than people who are not lonely. And the fact that it is, and the sad fact is that at any given time, more than 1 in 5 Americans will support that they are lonely. And we know that you can be lonely in a crown, and you can be lonely in a marriage. So the second big lesson that we'll learn is that it's not just the number of friends that you have. It's not whether or not you are in a committed relationship, but it's the quality of your close relationship that matters. It's turned out that living in the midst of conflict is really bad for our health. High conflict marriage, for example, without much affection, turn out to be very bad for our health. Perhaps worse than getting a divorce. And living in the midst of good, warm relationship is protective. Once we had followed all our men all the way into their 80s, we want to look back at their midlife and to see what have changed to their life, or what was the difference between when they were 50s and then the difference between when they were 19. And then the difference was not there like when they were 50 years old. It was how satisfied, I mean, it wasn't the middle age cultural level that predicted how they were going to grow old. It was how satisfied they were in their relationship. The people who were the most satisfied in their relationship at the age 50 were the healthiest at age 80. And good close relationship seem to buffer us from some of the same and how of getting old. Our most happily partnered men and women report in their 80s that on the days when they had more physical pain, their mood stayed happy, just happy. And but the people who were in happy relationship, on the days where they report more physical pain, it was magnified by more emotional pain. So the people who like stay in a happy relationship, they have like a better life, and then they can do like anything without having discussion or get mad at one another. But those that are not happy with one another, they might just get mad for any reason that harassment. So this message that good close relationships are good for our health is well. Oh, the third one. And the third big lesson that we learn about relationship is how health and that good relationship don't just protect our body, they protect our brain and how we think in life. It turned out that being in a securely attached relationship to another person in your 80s is protective. That the people who are in a relationship where they really felt they can count on another person in time of need. Those people memorize, stay sharper longer. And the people in a relationship where they feel they really can't count on the other one, those are the people who experience early memory decline. And those good relationships, they don't have to be smooth all the time. Some of our octogenarian couples could bicker with each other days and days out. But as long as they felt that they could really count on the other when they go into a tough argument or when things doesn't work out. So this message, that good close relationships are good for our health and well-being. This is wisdom that as old as the hill. Why is this so hard to get and so easy to ignore? We're human. What we'll really like is a quick fix, something we can get that will make our life good and keep them that way. Relationships are messy and they are complicated, and the hard work of tending to family and friends. It's not sexy or glamorous. It's also lifelong. It's never end. The people in our 75 years study who were the happiest in retirement were the people who had actively worked and with the school workmate with new playmate. Just like the millennial, right? Millennials,
Millionaires?
yeah,
Millenniums?
yeah,
Yeah.
Millennials.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
And recent survey, many of our men, when they were starting out as young adults, really believe that fame and wealth and high achievement were what they need to go after to have a good life. But over and over, this 75 year of study has shown that the people who fared the best were the people who learned in relationship with family and friend with the community. So what about you? So what about us? Let's say we are 25, we are 40s or 60. What might be learning and to relationship even look like to us? Well, the possibilities are practically endless. It might be something as simple as replacing screen time with people time or living of a stale relationship by doing something new together. a long work or date night, reaching to family, talk, try to know like other people, and who you haven't spoke of for a long year, because those all too common things if you take a terrible toll and on the people who hold the God. There's one quote he mentioned in the video. He said there isn't time to celebrate his life for recurring apology, hair burning, calling to account. There is only time for loving and but understand, so to speak, for that. The good life is built with a good relationship. That's it. And I have 3 questions for you guys.
What was the most interesting part of the video for you?
The fact that they talk about like good relationship, how does it keep family healthy, like how they keep family together when it's in a good relationship. My first question for you guys is that what are some benefits she mentioned and that he mentioned in that video, couple gains when they stay together in a happy relationship. What are some benefits that you get when you stay together in a happy relationship?
The health, you live longer. Better and healthier. And also say that when you are like in a happy relationship, even when you are like you sick, you still like enjoying the fact that you are like because somewhere it says that people are like not in a healthy relationship. When they sick, they pain. When they have like pain, it's always like it's always rather like emotionally they like always complain about it. Like people who are in like healthy relationship, they always act even when they're sick, but they take it like you say something like instead.
It doesn't affect their life.
Yeah, it really doesn't affect their life. Yeah.
And like you have but I have another question. Like, what do you think a good relationship is about?
I think because when he said he was talking about the mountains, at the end of the video when he said like about the time, using time, about the great time of life, and then I read some article. It says like a healthy relationship is about 2 good for people. Like when you are in a healthy relationship, people who are in a happy relationship is all about like 2 good for people. That is what one of these Mark Twain's quotes says. And then that is also where it took this like the last question, where it took that quote. It goes together with this quote when we say that a happy relationship is about 2 good for people. That is what I read on I just made some research.
Trust and communication. I think a happy relationship is when you do something that you enjoy and like every day and you don't regret anything that you do, and that comes with like the people that surround you, that they should be like close, and that you have a good relationship too.
Any other thing?
You feel comfortable telling everything to each other. Like you said, okay. I think you have to support each other. You support other people and other ideas. And
you have to have somebody like you have to be like your cheerleader.
I think I
agree with others that said. So, happy relationship is when you really love the person, how she said, when you feel comfortable.
Can you be more specific, like what's in it? Like, I know when you love it, but can you just like kind of give me a little bit more detail? Yeah,
Like, so if I love the person, that made me happy. So that's happy relationship.
Oh,
I think that you can be comfortable with somebody, but if that person is not, I don't think you can. So you have both have to be the same comfort. You have to listen to each other to be comfort.
One of the things that you are saying, because that a happy relationship is when you love someone, that you have what if that person doesn't love you?
Yeah,
it's not
you
just
can
love you, Loving someone.
So when you love each other, so if I love you, if you don't love me, that's not a good relationship.
Now, that's kind of like what you said, like when you are in a good relationship, you must love the person, right? The person, loving each other doesn't also make a happy relationship. You guys can love each other, but you may not be happy in a relationship.
Yeah, that's true.
You can love each other
That's
so
why I
much, but
say
your
you have to
relationship
listen
is
somebody.
just
You have to really understand other people without defining because if you really understand.
because there is some people that they may like be in a relationship, they love the partner, but they don't feel like confident, they don't communicate.
Yeah.
And then they feel confident talking to other people outside their marriage. They may love each other, but they're not in a happy relationship.
I can tell you guys, like my example, because I have a long-term relationship. Next year, I am gonna have 2 years with my boyfriend. And what makes our relationship is to understand each other, even if you don't agree with them, because that person don't think the same way you think. So sometimes you have to argue a lot, to talk a lot about some topics, about everything that's going on in your life. That's why I said before that trust and communication makes the relationship. When you love somebody that love you harder, so hard as you love them, love you so hard as you love them, and you have communication, that's the only, I think that's the main thing. Because if you have communication, you can understand each other. If I don't agree with you and I have the communication to talk with you, we can fix the problem. Or the other way, if they don't agree with you, they can talk to you and tell you, look, I don't like this, or this is how to change, what we can do to be better, to make the goals that we have together. So I think that it is what it is about.
That's the point, the communication.
Yeah.
Everything.
Because everything is relative. It is connected.
Yeah.
what do you guys think about if you're not living in a good relationship? What would affect your life? Like if you're not living in a good relationship,
Maybe 3 years.
like if you married someone and if you don't have a good relationship with them, what would be that?
I think that at the first point, you have to be sure that that is a good person or a right person. That's why you have to know somebody. Like before you get married, I cannot tell, but before you get married, you have to be sure, even if it doesn't go well or it goes bad, that you really want to get married.
But don't forget the fact that you're still learning about each other.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. Like, if you really want to, you can do it. It doesn't matter. Like, if it's going to be bad or if it's going to be good. If you really want to get married or if you really want to be with that person, just do it. Because that's what you want. And then after that, you cannot regret it. Because at the time you want to get married, that's what you want. That's what makes you happy. You can regret something that made you happy.
Anybody else have anything? Jason?
I think the person has to care about what they're thinking about they're doing so they can be more understandable and maybe making a decision that that could have maybe some conflict between them and right. Being a good person, do not like argue or turn eyes just because they can do it or that
So you think that a good relationship is when you're not arguing with one another and it's together?
I think not arguing all the time.
Yeah,
If you spend your entire relationship every single day there's something to argue about, that probably tells you that that person is not compatible with you. You know, yes, arguments happen and they're inevitable, right? Because not everyone has the same opinion on things. And I would say that it's actually healthy for you to voice your opinions and get into disagreements from time to time. But if every single day you begin to expect some sort of large disagreement that's dramatic and it's an argument, then really you're changing the dynamic of your relationship, because that person is no longer your confidant or the person that you can talk to about what makes you happy. That person has become kind of your enemy that's always provoking you or you're provoking. And that changes the dynamic of a relationship.
I don't know if it's good or bad, but I think that before get married and have kids, I think we should live with them before getting married and have kids. Because if you through the time you can know him more, if you are not happy you can leave. If you don't have kids, so
you're trying to say that before you marry someone, you're trying to live with them first to see how their life is going?
what?
A lot of people say,
Yeah,
a lot of people
I in my opinion,
A lot of people say
it's
that.
better because
As you mentioned, that's
Yeah.
They said, some people said, even in my country and my family, my ancestry, even my mom sometimes said, when you really know somebody is when you live with them.
And you know someone when you live with them. But that doesn't take off the fact that, because sometimes my mom said, you can go somewhere and you spend only 2 hours with that person, you already know how it is. Not exactly how it is, but you can just know how it behaves, its behavior, just by the way you talk. Some people, you can know them just by the way they talk, the way they act, you can truly know them.
The thing is that every single person has a good side and a bad side.
Yeah, that is
And that's the thing, when you at first when you know somebody, you just realize their good side. But then later, if you live with that person or if you know that person for a long time, then you're gonna see the bad side of that person. And then after that you're gonna agree if you accept them, yes or no. Even though with all the bad things they have, you're gonna accept them and you're gonna love them even so.
Does the good outweigh the bad? Right? That's what helps you to determine whether you should be with the person.
That also goes with one of his quotes, the Mark Twain. He said one of his quotes, because I was reading all of his quotes, and then he said everybody is a moon. We all have a moon inside us, and which means we all have that dark side that doesn't come out all the time. But that doesn't take off the fact that we have it. I really love that quote.
That's
The same way everybody's a moon. We all have like the dark side that doesn't come out all the time. But it's still there. And then it says like also that means you don't have to take someone's weakness for like for granted because the beast inside is alive. Inside us is alive. I really love this quote.
That's good, yeah. And I think that, to speak to that moon thought, right? The moon has different phases, right? It's
Yeah.
constantly waxing and waning. When you guys wake up in the morning, are you the same person as you were yesterday? Do you feel like you're in a different mood, or you say like, who is this? Like, what's
Sometimes,
happening? Why am I, such a grouch? Nothing's happened yet today.
sometimes I have a thought in the night, and the other day I change my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's part of being human, right? Is that we are constantly searching to know ourselves, right? So when you're in a relationship, you have to understand that other person is doing the same thing, right? So constantly there's changes happening on both sides, and constantly there's that need for the two to come together and work. I mean, I've known people that have been in relationships for 8-9 years with the same person, and then one day they wake up and they say, this just isn't right anymore, right? Because people change. People change. We go in different directions. So I think that one of the key elements in having a happy relationship is that that person recognizes where you are now and what you want to do, and you do the same for that person. It's not about, everyone says relationship is about compromise. And it is. It is. A fair share of it is about compromising. But I think in a good relationship, no one should have to compromise, their deepest desires. It might be like, oh, what do you want to eat for dinner tonight? I want to eat chicken. Oh, I want to eat pizza. Oh, let's have chicken pizza. There you go. Compromise. Boom. It's that easy. Right? But when it comes to like your life's calling, right? We've been talking about our passions. That person shouldn't get in the way of you realizing your dreams as an individual. Right? That's not a compromise that you should have to make in a relationship. I think it's about also picking your battles. The things that you can argue about are many, right? Every single day you can find something to pick and say, I'm unhappy with this, right? But it's about choosing the right ones. Right? Don't fight about every little thing. Fight about just the really important things.
Anybody else? Yes? Good?
No.
Do you have anything to say about relationship? What do you think a good relationship is like? Do you think we should have a good relationship or bad relationship?
That's
Your
awful.
It's just not what you say.
No, I appreciate that you're trying to get.
I'm just trying to make him say something. I'm not saying what's a better question.
It's okay. Leading a discussion is definitely an acquired skill, isn't it? It's not just saying like, yes or no questions. Yeah.
Alright. You guys don't have any questions?
What are you thinking about healthy relationship?
About relationship?
Yeah.
About good relationship?
Yeah.
You guys already discussed it. I think a good relationship is when like people are married they stay together and then be happy with one another. It's not like when they have like tough things happen or when you have problems, like they're not gonna just like have an argument or fight with one another just for this simple thing, but they can they know how to handle themselves to respect one another and to
To talk about marriage, but basic experience about relationship. What do you think about?
What I think about marriage?
Yeah, no, our relationship.
I got you.
Why did you say when I ask another question? What
Unhappy?
Yeah, unhappy, like, if someone would say, wake up in the morning and say, like, I'm unhappy, when makes people be unhappy in a relationship? Talk about it, but I just want your opinion on it.
Can I answer that?
Huh? Another
Can I
question?
answer that? No, I say, can I answer her question?
I mean, you can make it up, but I have to answer it too.
Go ahead.
I mean, I think what can make like an unhappy relationship is when two like people marry and then they start disagreeing with one another, like with everything they say. Like if I say something, you say something else, and I'm not going to disagree with you all the time, and if you do it to me all the time, I think we won't be happy.
So
I mean,
you
it
think
won't.
that people only decide to have in one, so you think people only disagree when they're married and not when they are in a relationship? But you say like, people are unhappy because when they're married, when they start disagreeing with each other. Just like Elena said, it's like you love a relationship.
Can I jump in? Can I just say that I think when we make the distinction between a relationship and marriage, there's not much of a distinction. You know, if you guys are thinking like between, you know, living together and not living together, then okay, there's a big distinction,
Yeah,
right? But you can of course live with someone if you're not married to them, and it still feels like you're married, right? So when we slap on the title married couple, nothing really changes except for your finances and your rights as a couple.
Legally.
No, seriously.
I think that's.
And that's what that should be a good thing, right? Because if you know everything's great and you're like, let's get married, this is fantastic, and then you get married and everything changes, it's like what? Why? Right? What was the point of that? So nothing should change. It should be a really easy transition, right? But what makes someone unhappy in any relationship? And I think that we shouldn't limit ourselves to think about just romantic relationships, because although he was talking primarily about romantic relationships, he just said relationships and closeness to people in general. So think about your relationships outside of your love interests, right? Those are also big contributing factors to having a good quality of life. Do you have friends? Do you have good relationships with your family members? Right? So think about that. Think about relationships more generally instead of hopping to husband and wife. Absolutely. And think about, where there might be some crossover, right? Think of your relationship with your best friend, and then think of your relationship if you have a relationship with a significant other. There should be some characteristics that are similar, right? I mean, what's the difference between being, in a relationship with someone, romantically and having a best friend, right? What's the difference there? What makes a friendship into a relationship that's romantic? What's the one difference? I mean, really, there should be not much of a difference aside from you're probably not engaging in sexual activities with your best friends, right? So that's the one difference, right? Is that romantic involvement, maybe that physicality of it. But at the end of the day, the person that you're with romantically should be your best friend. My husband always says, I'm not his best friend. And it drives me crazy because I know I'm his best friend and he just won't say it. But then at the end of the day, what's different? You're sharing things with your best friend. You're sharing things with your significant other, right? It's that same trust, that mutual trust, that person will always be there for you. So I think that there are a lot of commonalities between all of our good relationships, whether they're romantic or just friendships, right? It's just when we add that extra element that we consider a romantic interest.
I was about to say, when I said that if I can answer the question, is that I think when you are unhappy, is when you don't be traded how you expect to be.
So definitely when there's a difference between expectations, right? How you're expected to be treated and how you're treating the other, and then how that's actually turning out for you. Right? Yeah, absolutely. Any other thoughts? It was interesting to hear about how you all feel about love and love. I love that. I really love these discussion meetings because it makes you think about things that maybe you don't otherwise.
We don't know anything about.
Things that you don't know anything about. Well, but that's the thing. But that's the thing, right? I think that you all need to give yourself more credit because you know about things from very different perspectives. Just because it's not like what people traditionally know doesn't mean that you know nothing. Right? All of your experiences are valid. Any final comments? Okay, good job. Good job.